So here's your lesson plan. And the reason can you see this?
Yes.
Oh, this is just, that's such a wonderful word. So I'm showing in here some examples that could be inspiration. When you use the word playful, you could think of a roller coaster in a way. And I just found a couple images online of uh, roller coasters that sort of weave in and out and are loopy and fun. I also found a couple playgrounds that were brightly colored and had kind of some nutty thematic things happening in there. Here's another one. And this is an end result from somebody. I'm not sure it's the world's best one, but it's an example I had in my file. So what you're looking at here is a playful sculpture, and that's what we're going to attempt to make tonight, although yours is going to be better, of course. All right, so you can, you know what I did? I didn't stop recording this. Oh my God, which means I'm going to have to, all right, well, I'm going to have to cut all this part out. All right, so now I'm going to take my life in my hands and see whether we can do this. Oh my God, I can't stand it. It's so good. All right. I'm assuming everybody can see what I can see.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Okay, anybody who does not want their face on the video, this is when you should turn yourself off. Okay, so this lesson is a wonderful way to introduce sculpture to students in a very easy and inexpensive way before you get into things like clay or plaster or anything else you might want to do, wood blocks. This is easy. And I'm just going to start from bare bones here. I'm not giving you a sample in that I want you to be able to sort of see it. You need a piece of cardboard. I know in your packet I gave you some cardboard, and I realized that my ruler is across the room and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to work kind of in a square, so I'm just going to eyeball this. You could double up your cardboard if you really want it solid, but you probably don't have to. Maybe that's a little wobbly here. Let's see if we can fix that a little. All right. If you recall how we covered the cardboard for when we did book arts, this is a similar methodology right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your cardboard, you're going to put it on a piece of construction paper. I like True Ray construction paper because it does not fade. I don't know if you have any experience with construction paper, but very often they turn into this like horrible pea green brown color when they're a little bit old. True Ray really stays pretty solid and doesn't fade. So it fades a little, but not by a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace around the corners the same way that we did, but what we're making here is a base for our sculpture. I personally like black because then that doesn't distract from the what's going on with the actual sculpture. And I'm doing this thing where I'm putting the line so I know that my piece is going like that. Then from each corner, I'm making, right from the tip of the corner, I'm making an envelope flat. It doesn't have to be too big of an angle, just a little bit of an angle like that. And then we're going to cut this out like so. Remember, it's not going out on an angle, it's going slightly in, like an envelope flat. It's just so easy to get this wrong because the point of this is to have like a neat and clean piece. The pieces I gave you of cardboard will be the same size as the paper. So you'll want to cut it down a little bit, I think. All right, so we're going to cut out the corners now. It's a little easier to do than when we did the pop-up book, which had that extra. Our problem is going to be getting this long side correct, but do some accurate cutting, take your time. Don't get, distracted or anything like that, because if you cut in too far here, you'll wind up with a really crummy looking corner, which we do not want. We want to have our corners be gorgeous. All right, so those are my 4 corners. Goodbye to these in my recycling. I always get paper bags at the grocery store because see, I'm up here by Pennsylvania and New Jersey. I'm in New York, but and so I can get plastic bags if I want them because they're not illegal in the other 2 states, but I love paper bags because you can stick all your stuff. So a fold over like that works. And you notice I have my A to my line, so I know this is exactly right. I usually use masking tape, but again, that's also over there with my ruler. So I'll just use this. Okay. This is going to be the harder side, so I might want to use, 3 paces of tape. What you're seeing right now is what is the bottom of the paper sculpture. It's not the top. The top is on the other side. So if you want to use a color, you go ahead. I'm not dictating what happens here. I just have my own preferences.
Professor, you're kind of drifting off the center of the camera. You're
Thank you. I prefer
there
that.
you go. You're better there, yeah.
Okay, good. I just need to know that. Keep me honest because I'm not looking there. I'm not looking at the screen. The screen is actually over. So yeah, if I'm off, let me know. It won't be the first time I was off. Ta-da! So I just want you to see how beautiful these corners are. They're gorgeous. Yeah, so that's our base. And then this is a very easy, in some ways, lesson because you can ask your students, what do you think paper is capable of? What are some ideas you have for making paper stick out or stand up or attaching paper to paper? It also teaches patience because I can assure you that the gluing aspect of this is going to be really boring for a lot of kids. I, as you know already, do not like tape showing on things. I think that's tacky looking. It's not craftsman-like. It's unnecessary. So I want students to take the time to show me the love in their work where they're going to make something that they're proud of. But that does also mean that, they're going to have to wait a minute or 2 holding this down. They won't be happy. So when I do this, I might just begin to show them something after we've looked at perhaps some images that like I showed you before. But this, I'm not going to force the issue. You know how I love glue brushes and my Meow Mix container. I think it's okay if we just use the Elmer's Glue All. Remember, Elmer's Glue All does not have the detergent in it, so it holds up much better. So let's say I'm going to start sort of in the center. I'm going to lay this down like so. And now if you want to twist it or something like that, which I might want to do, I'll lay this down like this. So I tell students to discuss politics or something, or, world events while they're holding it down. The glue will dry transparent, but, this takes a lot of patience for a lot of kids. They're all they want to do is just be done, 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 done. And so, they have to sort of hold it for a while. Now, I may want to put something on top of this, but obviously you can't do that until this is sort of dry. Now, in your boxes of supplies, I think I gave everybody a pair of wacky scissors. Is that correct? Did everybody get a pair of these?
I did.
Different kinds?
I did not, but I actually have some of my own anyway.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you should have. Look in the box again, because I think I gave one at least to everybody. So look in the box again. It could just be hidden. So,
Yeah, no, the box is demolished. I already took
Really?
everything out and have it in a
I'm
bin.
sorry.
I don't think I
owe you
have
a pair. I owe you a pair of wacky scissors because these are very lovely, and so we're using construction paper for this. You pick the colors. I think that the copier paper, while it has wonderful neon colors, is just not as stiff. So it's probably better to use construction paper. So, Kevin, if I ever see you again, remind me I owe you a pair of wacky scissors if your box is demolished.
It's all right.
No, it's very sad. Everybody. No, I tried so hard to be fair to everybody and give everybody good stuff,
I mean, yeah, you totally did. I just recently picked up a pair from Dollar Tree.
Dollar Tree
yeah.
sells them. Are they any good? I mean, do they fall apart?
One of them kind of jams, but the other one works perfectly fine. They have different patterns and stuff.
Okay.
One's zigzag, one's curvy.
I love.
Yeah, but they're pretty good, and they're bigger than those actually.
Oh, excuse me. How do you know the scale? You don't know the scale. Can you tell the scale? You can.
Probably from the size of your hands, roughly.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. I have big hands. So anyway, there's no rules with this. I like students to kind of explore what the properties of paper might be, in that, this really is a physics lesson in a way. There's a science to it. And of course, you may want to have wet paper towels. Did I ever give you, I haven't done this yet. I better do this. I better tell you my handy hint for dealing with sticky hands and stuff. You get, talk about the dollar store. You get a spray bottle of water, like so, and a bowl, and you take the paper towels that the school has, and you just dump a whole lot of them in there, and you spritz it, and then you put one on each table, and the kids can just take those and wipe their hands as they go. It's brilliant.
Ah, like baby wipes, yeah.
Yeah, but they're much cheaper than baby wipes because they're free.
Yeah, of course. Right.
Water.
That's cool.
Water and paper towels that the school had already. You see, my everything is slipping already. But so I let the class be really noisy during this project so that they can talk and explore now. And they're going to all see what other students are doing and kind of be inspired by that, probably. Now, one thing we have to say to the students is we are making a sculpture. So what does a sculpture have that a painting doesn't have? Anybody want to tell me a property of sculpture that a painting wouldn't have?
Sculpture takes up space.
Space, it's three-dimensional, exactly right. So sculpture takes up space, and painting describes the space, but painting is an illusion. When you turn, in fact, I often will give a demonstration so they know the difference between sculpture. I'll say, is this glue bottle a sculpture? How do we know? Well, if when we turn it around, we see the back side, it is. Now, if we're looking at an artwork, let's pretend there's something on here. I'll put something on here. When we turn it around, you see the back of the paper, but you don't see the back of, what's there. It's flat. So that kids can kind of really learn that they need to walk around it. And so I encourage them to move, and I encourage you to do the same, to move your whatever you're making around. You can plan this if you want. Obviously, you can see here I have not planned anything. So I'm just winging this and doing it as I go. I can get as complicated or be as simple. Oh, wait a minute, I did that the wrong way. Complicated or as simple as you want. I don't know where this is going yet, but I'm going to start it here. Some kids really like to make theirs tall. Yeah, I'll go this way. I think I'm going to do something wackadoodly. Yeah, that's what I'll try to do. I think I'll try to encase this somehow. Well, that means I've got to hold on to this for a while. So I'll just chat. Now, one thing that I do when I make these with kids is I make sure that I have a place to exhibit them, because they just turn out so fabulous and beautiful. You'll also find that there will be students who will excel at this, who are probably less successful at two-dimensional work. And it's always very interesting to me to see that. Here, I'll just make like a tunnel here. That'll just be easier for the sake of demonstrating to you. Here. Yeah. Okay. So you're just going to build up, build up, build up. There's all sorts of, paper folding techniques you can try. I don't want to steal your thunder and show you all the little things you might do, but I want you to explore and have some fun with this. But when it gets to the point where you're ready to exhibit these, if you do not have like an area where there's a case or tables where you could just lay them down like this, once they're all dry, they look fabulous on a bulletin board sideways, like that. So you can just hang them next to each other on a bulletin board as long as the push pins are long enough, and you'll have a wonderful looking thing. Now I know something about the Department of Education is very controlling as to what has to be on a bulletin board. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that. It has to have certain, I don't know, standardy things or whatever, but you could probably come up with something. Like, we studied the physical properties of paper, the possibilities and the limitations of what paper can do, and made our inventive, playful sculptures. So it also, obviously, cutting, gluing, and just really understanding three-dimensional space. That's what we're doing here. If you wanted to, you could. Normally, I'll give people 9x12 paper. No, not 9x12. I lied. 12x18 paper, so they can do longer things. Because of the factor of how large our box had to be for the online, I have not given you the larger paper, but you could make your own by doubling it up. I don't know. I'm not inspired here to go over there. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe I'll go in here somehow. I think I'm going to start in there. So anyway, This has no rules other than to explore, experiment. I'm not going to tell you, oh, it has to have this many colors or that many pieces, or it can't have this, or it must have that. None of that stuff. Just give yourself a little bit of time and have some fun with it. Maybe we can go up and see what happens there. Let's try that. This could sag as a result, which would be kind of a learning thing. There, see, that's starting to take on a little bit more of an interest. See, I have to sit here and discuss whatever. So I just tell the students, just hold it and sing a song, contemplate your navel, think about whatever. It is so true that the art room teaches so many skills. Before this class started, Grant was telling me that, I think it was Grant, that his son was only getting a half an hour of art, 15 minutes twice a week. That's like nothing. And it's just so sad because so much gets learned. And there's also a lot of research that says that when students have art, they come to school. They'll drag their bodies to school no matter what. Now, if you want to also decorate the pad, as it were, like I don't like how that purple is looking on the edge. You could do you could kind of make some patterns and stuff on the base to sort of decorate it a little bit. But my goal here is just to introduce you to sculpture, because next week we're going to be using Model Magic, and we're going to be going, oh no, wait, I lie. Next week, 1:30, we're going to be stuffing your paper. If you did not do the Craypa Resist on the large sheets of paper, you'll have to have those for next week, because we're going to be making a stuffed paper. And then the following week, we're going to be doing some clay techniques with Model Magic, because it's all I could figure out to do and easily send you. Clay is so heavy. I just couldn't. And plus it's dusty. It's really, normally when we have class at the college, I'm allowed to just take you right into the ceramics studio and we fire your work. You actually get to have the experience of making work that is permanent. You can make a coffee cup and drink out of it. And for some reason, I don't like the way the pasting is looking there. It just doesn't have a good illusion there. That's probably a little bit better. So you can start to see how that's kind of beginning, and we can tweak it as you work. I'm feeling like I have some rawness on here that I don't enjoy. Okay, here we are. All right. So this is not done. This is just the beginning. We could do a whole lot more with this. I'm just wanting to show you as a beginning sample. Have at it. Do whatever comes to mind, and enjoy. And remember just to keep looking every which way, just to see how does it look every which way. Where does it fall short? Does it fall short? Okay. Now, does anybody have any questions about this?
No, thank you.
Not at all.
Professor,
Yes.
for this project, what is your expectations from us? To the entire picture should be popping out. There should be things flat. There should be 3D, 2D.
No, I don't have any expectation. I want to see an exploration of paper.
Okay.
So just explore the paper any way you like. And you know, I'm calling it playful because I think it's really easy to make something playful. And if you sort of start out by showing students roller coasters or playgrounds, they'll sort of get the idea of something that's fun and buoyant, but it doesn't have to be. I mean, you could do like mountain ranges or something, for goodness sakes. Take it anywhere way you want to. Um, my goal for you, Esther, is that you will learn how to teach this to your students. And in your case, little kids could do a certain amount of this. You might have to let them tape, however, because you've got little ones, or you would have to have someone sitting with them to help hold it down, because I don't think a 3-year-old is going to want to sit there and hold that myself. I think you'd be in some hot water.
Oh yeah.
Professor, what about two-sided tape? The clear two-sided tape.
Yeah, that's real expensive. So I tend not to use things that cost a lot of money. And the problem is that students aren't really concerned about how it looks as much. And so they'll just have tape, even two-sided tape, showing everywhere. And it will completely be just jarring and not really look crafted. So on the one hand, I want the exploration, but on the other hand, I think the gluing is probably the best way to go. But for adults, if you have double-sided tape, you go for it. Absolutely. Go ahead. Because I'm confident you can glue it. You'll see, I mean, it wasn't like that hard for me to glue this down. It's just kids are a little more in a hurry and maybe not as neat. But if they're when are they going to learn how to glue patiently if we don't teach them? They're not. So better to teach them. Also, very important point, have your students write their names on the bottom, because these will they'll fight over them, because the better ones, they'll say that's mine. And I have had students, I've even had college students try to take other people's work as their own. So you the name on the back or on the bottom is very important. And students don't tend to want to do that. So this is the detailed lesson plan. It has everything in here. I think the student checklist, the habits of mind, the standards, etc. So I don't think this is going to be an overly onerous week for you. I think it'll be kind of playful for you too. And that was my goal. Any more questions? Okay, I'm going to say this part of our class is done. And now I'm going to talk about our homework, which is also posted on Blackboard. And I'm asking you in your sketchbook journal to do a page that is cut through in some way. So you could make, like on the outside, I don't know, a window, similar to that thing I was showing 131 with Gladys and the eyeball. But it could be one thing on one page, you cut through to the second page. So this is a 2-page sketchbook journal project, but you open it to the next page and there's some kind of a surprise, or it's not what you thought. This is a book my sister bought me. I don't know how good it is, but it is interesting. This would also work to do it this way. This artist took famous artists. Can you all see this okay? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here we see an image of Van Gogh. And then what he does is he cuts the page off a little. So on the next page, you see that. And the Van Gogh part kind of disappears. You really aren't as aware of it. It's a little whatever, but you could do something along this line. Here is, this is called Maxfield Meets, oh wait, no, sorry, I did that one. Here's Warhol, Warhol. So that's an image of Andy Warhol. I showed this to you backwards, which is a bad thing. Okay, that's Andy Warhol. I think you see his image from how his self-portrait looked. And then when you open it, this one works fairly well because he's just taken this and turned it into a monster. So this is another idea. I think I have one more that I thought, oh wait, I'm not sure. Okay, this is the Scream. Yeah. I want to do it close enough, okay. And when you do it, it just turns into a duck pond. And this actually is very effective because you really can't even see what was going on there. It's a little silly, this book, but anyway, it just kind of gives you one idea, but also you can cut through any way you want, through a window, through a door, or just have something partially cut out. Use your brain about this, because I'd like you to just, be as creative as you possibly can. So, take your time on that. This is very straightforward as an art project. So you could spend a little more time in your sketchbook journal really trying to push yourself some way. Any questions about that?
Yeah,
Nope,
perfect.
thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Esther, is that you, Heaven?
Yeah, that's me. But I think someone else is trying to talk also, so I want to give them a turn also.
Oh, to take that slower for me. Say that slower.
I thought someone else was trying to talk, so I didn't want to cut them off.
Oh no, go ahead, talk.
The homework project. Okay, so I take 2 pages basically and create something that looks like something else.
Well, wait, basically you're going to take a page. Let me just get some scratch paper here. Here's let's pretend this is my sketchbook. So it could be like that where you just cut part of the thing. But let's say that I want to do, I don't know. I want to do something here. I'll do a table. And some kind of window. And maybe I'll have, I don't know. This is a little, maybe a little too close to the, something.
Professor, I have mine actually with me. If you want, in a
Oh,
bit, I can show it.
Sure, okay. But okay, I'm just gonna show this to them and then you can show yours. Let me just get this done. So let's just say this is some kind of a picture of a whatever. Yeah, I just want you to think outside of the box, and this is just so what you want to do is, all right, so I had this and I was trying to make it look like, maybe there's some kind of, I don't know, mountain, iceberg, something like that. But then when you open it up, this is actually here. Okay. Oh, wait. This is going to get cut out. Sorry, my bad. Okay, so this is there. There's your page. You could also have the door open if you wanted. But then inside here, and you wouldn't have, well, you wouldn't have this box necessarily. You could just have your cat or something lying outside. Something that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but it's a lot of fun. In other words, you're thinking one thing here. Maybe I could make it like oh, there's some mountains here in the window. But then when you actually open it, there might be mountains in the background. It's a cat. Wait. I have to erase that. Hold on. This is kind of a lame. I should have thought of an idea to show you. But you know, the one thing that I will say is when if I give you an idea too much, I don't want you guys to sort of get stuck on that idea, because sometimes you do get stuck on that. It's easy. It's
Right.
just easy for kids to get kids and adults, for them to get stuck on something. So see, my thing here is, now let me make this look like there's mountains here. Okay, so if you looked at this picture, there you have a cat, or you could make it into a sphinx or anything you want. But when you're actually looking out the window, you might think this is some kind of mountainous landscape, see? But it's not, because when you turn your page in your sketchbook journal, that becomes an ear. Okay, does that make sense? Who am I answering? Esther?
Yeah, it
Okay.
does. I create one picture has a page of an image, and then the other picture has whatever, a room or some type of
Well,
window.
but the point of this is use the cutout to do something with.
Okay.
And I don't,
Yeah, I was just
it
about to
doesn't
ask
have to
them.
be exactly an illusion like this. Just think of the idea of, there are children's books that use stuff like this. Just think of the idea, if I cut into a page into something else, what could I do with that? You know, it could be part of a word, you know, you could, it could be, you know, like a rainbow or something. You think it's a rainbow, but then when you get out here, you know, it's like, oh my, you know, whatever you want to do, just it's basically a little bit of trickery. So let's just say that's a rainbow colored thing, and then it turns into being like a statement or something. Don't do my ideas, they're boring. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to get rid of me. Rachel, you said you have yours?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, that's very prepared of you. And that's wonderful.